Protesters storm Minneapolis hotel where ICE agents believed to be staying.
There's news. Fox News alert: an unlawful assembly
What
declared
the
in
fuck?
Minneapolis after thousands of anti-ICE protesters hit the streets in response to the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
The situation turning violent with one group attempting to breach a hotel where they believed ICE agents are staying.
Matt Finn is live on the ground in Minneapolis with the latest. Matt, good morning. What are you seeing there?
That ICE agent shot a queen bee,
Well,
bro.
Rachel, it's quiet right now. But
Holy shit.
really, just a few hours ago, not far from where I'm standing, things turned violent and got pretty dicey. A large crowd of protesters and rioters surrounded a hotel where they believe immigration agents are staying here in Minneapolis.
Oh
Our
my
Garrett
gosh.
Tenney was on the scene last night.
This is
He said
getting
a
ridiculous.
smaller group of the protesters broke into the depot in downtown Minneapolis,
Bro, they can't even coordinate how to enter a fucking hotel building. Look at this. What is this?
tossing around the furniture inside while others were
And they're wearing masks as they stampede and fucking barrel into each other. Is this a dude hanging here on a door?
spray painting anti-ICE messages on the windows. Now outside, the protesters were playing instruments, banging drums, and blowing whistles to prevent immigration agents from sleeping or getting rest. Our Fox affiliate reports police declared an
Why are there so many retards in the United States of America?
unlawful assembly sometime around the 10 o'clock hour. Now, yesterday,
Go
body
home.
camera video showing
Go
some of the final
home.
moments leading
This
up
isn't BLM. We're not doing BLM again. Take your ass the fuck home. This isn't BLM 2.0. She fucking drove a car and almost hit a dude. All right? She played a stupid game. She won a stupid prize. Go home.
up to that ICE agent shooting of Renee Good was obtained by Fox. Let's watch that full video.
If we're going to protest, at least make it make sense, you know?
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us.
And I've seen this footage, and again, I'm going to state what I stated in my last video about this. I do not believe that woman should have been shot. I don't believe that that officer felt justified that his life was, or that officer actually felt like his life was in harm's way. I think he was just having an ego moment, and I think he's a bad apple, and I don't think that we should be judging all of ICE based on this one retarded cop pulling his gun out. And I bet you he's going to regret that shit for the rest of his life, because deep in his soul, when he goes to sleep, he knows that he did not need to pull that gun out and shoot that woman for what she has done. She was just going to flee the scene. She could have got charged for that in court. It was not necessary for him to pull a gun out and shoot. He wasn't scared. Come on.
Later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us?
And she's a vet,
You
bro.
wanna come
She's a
at
vet.
us?
She served for
I
our
said go
country
get
too.
yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car.
And you know what? She makes a fair point when she says, go get some lunch, big boy. Because you got to think, why is she saying, go get some lunch, big boy? Because a lot of these guys, especially, you know, people in the police force, they have these high-ass egos where they think they can walk all over people and do whatever the fuck they want. And here, you're going to see exactly why they feel like that, because they're going to kill a woman in this video, and they're probably not going to face any charges or consequences for it, because they're going to throw up some bullshit justification in court. People are going to review the footage, and people are going to side with the police officers just because they don't like liberals. I am a Republican, and I will tell you, this whole situation is fucked up, right? That cop did not need, or that ICE agent did not need to shoot this woman. And again, it wasn't even like one of those like, split-second decision types of thing. This shit looked premeditated. Like, this guy looked like he had some beef with this woman. This woman was pissing him off, hurting his ego, rubbing him the wrong way. And he was like in his head, I'm going to show this bitch. She puts the car in reverse. Any dude with half a fucking brain would say, shit, she's putting the car in reverse. She's probably going to pull forward. The car is surrounded. She probably wants to flee the scene. But instead, this dickhead just puts his body in front of the car and then lets off a few shots. I mean, come on, man. You can't make this shit up.
Get out of the car. Whoa!
Like, dude, it just seems so performative. Ooh, boom, 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 boom. Like, bro, you think that these officers don't think about reciting that exact thing that just happened in this video where a car hits them and they're like, how am I going to react so I can get that self-defense, while letting some fucking shots off. This is so obvious. And again, I'm all for the police force, and I'm all for supporting our people that keep our community safe. But this guy is just a bad apple. He just seems like an asshole.
Now, Vice President J.D. Vance says that body camera video shows that the officer shot Renee Good in self-defense.
Yeah, I mean the body cam footage did show that, but like, can we also come to the fact that it looks like it was he could have you know, not allowed that to happen? Can we say like this looked preemptive the way that he went about this self-defense charge? It's almost like one of these basketball players, they're fucking playing basketball and they're trying to draw the foul. When they go up for the shot, they're letting the other fucking NBA guard slap them on the hand, like he's moving his hand or he's moving his arm into the other basketball player's arm to draw the foul when he shoots the shot. And that's exactly what we just saw. We saw this fucking guy draw a foul with the car and then just start letting off shots. I mean, bro, we're not retarded. We all with two eyes can see what happened. But unfortunately, the way that the justice system's going to see this guy's going to beat this charge, and it is what it is.
But the Democratic mayor of Minneapolis here, Jacob Fry, he is condemning the federal agent.
He walked away with a hop in his step from the incident.
Exactly. He walked away with a hop in his fucking step after he let 3 rounds off. If I was the mayor of this city, I'd be pissed too. And I'd be saying, look, guys, we need to have some serious change because there is some gray area that these cops are playing with where they're just letting bodies drop and it's not okay.
There's another person that's dead. He held on his cell phone. I think that speaks for itself. I can see a person that is trying to leave.
Yep.
I can see an ICE agent that was not run over by a car. That didn't happen.
Dude, I am so glad I'm not going crazy. And this guy's response is the same exact response as mine. And I'm coming from this as a Trump supporter and a guy that, you know, supports the Republican Party and that's supposed to support the police no matter what they do. I've seen that happen time and time again where, you know, these Trump supporters, these Republicans, no matter what the fucking cops do, they just hop on their side no matter what. And I'm not that guy. I'm gonna say exactly what I think. I'm gonna be real. I don't believe that should have that should not have been handled in the manner that it was. It was disgraceful to our ICE agents, and now we're dealing with riots because this fucking idiot.
1,000 additional agents are on their way here to Minneapolis, scheduled to surge this city. There's already roughly about 2,000 federal agents that have already been here, so it's very clear that DHS is placing its focus on Minneapolis-St. Paul right now. You know, last summer I covered the raids in Los Angeles. Of course, Fox covered everything that went down in Chicago, also New Orleans. Right now, the focus is on Minneapolis-St. Paul. And Border Patrol tells me the more immigration agents that are on the ground here, boots on the ground here, that frees up HSI investigators to investigate the ongoing fraud. That's the backdrop of all this. That fraud scandal that we've been reporting on, that's also happening simultaneously in addition to the immigration enforcements. Back to you guys in New York.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
And I think it's such an important point. Obviously somebody is paying for all of this stuff.
Yes.
These people are working for people, and our top priority should be finding out who it is that is funding all of this stuff. But as Matt points out, crucial to understanding all of this is the fact that the timing of all of this. You know, you have supposedly liberals, Democrats care about feeding the children and care about these programs that they came up with to feed children and educate children, Somali children in Minneapolis. And then suddenly, as we're uncovering billions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad at them for caring about those programs. If those programs are legitimately doing what they're supposed to do, that sounds great.
Of theft that had been going on in all of these programs by people who are connected to politicians like Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz, then suddenly all these protests.
Unfortunately, anytime you have a program where it's money is transferring from one place to another, you can expect people to be skimming off of it. There's always going to be people skimming off of it. Now, the question is, how much money got to the place B from A? Was it a large portion? Because again, there's always going to be vultures. There's always going to be people skimming off of this. But the question is, You know, are we allowing the people skimming off of it to just eat the entire fund and then nothing gets to place B? Then we have a very large issue. But if there's people skimming off of it and we can't quite see who's doing it and how they're doing it, but the majority of the money is still going to good use, then fine.
Tests break out over what appears to be an incredibly sad situation, an incredibly unfortunate situation, but one where an officer was doing nothing more than defending himself.
But it is tragic in...
The officer is doing nothing more than defending himself. This is the propaganda that we have to deal with, guys. Again, he wasn't defending himself. He was defending his ego. His instincts would have said, "Not let me step out of the way of this car that's going into reverse and then it's going to pull forward." And it's obviously surrounded by a bunch of vehicles. And her wife is saying, "Baby, drive." Obviously, it's going to start driving. And it's also coming off zero acceleration, so it's not going to do much damage to me anyways. I'm just going to shoot her and kill her. You know what, man? This is what people burn in hell for. I genuinely believe that. I believe that just because your ego tells you to do something doesn't mean that you should do it. And I think if you let some shots off like that, you know deep down, deep in your soul, deep in your heart that you did something wrong, and that in the afterlife you will pay for it, and in today's life you will pay for it.
Dad, but yet you need to look at what Jacob Fry, the mayor there, says I should get the F out.
And I'm not saying you're going to pay for it by the legal system or society. I'm saying deep in your soul, when you go to sleep and you lay your head on that pillow, you will know that you have done something wrong, something that you shouldn't have done, something that didn't need to be done, and it was a terrible, terrible thing that you've done, and you're going to have to pay for it in your mind. At the end of the night.
I think Jacob Fry should deal with the other F, and that are facts. Renee Good, this mother who is...
And that's really why, unfortunately, we see like a lot of officers, a lot of military vets, they have these insanely high... a lot of them have these insanely high suicide rates. You know, they see things that they can't unsee, for one. That's going to be definitely a cause. All right, there are definitely troops out there that have PTSD, that have done nothing wrong. And unfortunately, they're dealing with the trauma that they experienced. I'm not talking about those troops. Then, on the other hand, there are other people, and this doesn't just go for troops. This just goes for anybody ever. If you do something wrong that you know is deep down in your soul was wrong, you're going to regret that for eternity. And that's why we do see these police officers and these troops with high levels of suicide rates, because they've been put in these situations where they've had the opportunity to make a massive fuck up, and they've been given that opportunity 10 times a day. And all it takes is one fuck up to really fuck you up in your brain. And then next thing you know, you're laying in bed wondering if you should be alive or not, if you're a good person or not. And I think he's going to have to deal with that burden. I'm not going to lie to you.
Lost her life, got there by inserting herself into federal immigration law enforcement. Fox has confirmed that she was part of a group called ICE Watch that monitors, tracks, and interferes in federal immigration law enforcement with ICE on the ground. We know also through our reporting that she went to 2 other locations the same day before she got to the third one. And in both of those previous cases, she also used her vehicle to obstruct. You cannot obstruct. It is against the law to obstruct federal immigration law enforcement.
It's also
she
dangerous.
did so by putting her car there. The second thing she did wrong is when she was in...
Yeah, guys, you got to remember these things. Trump, he got voted into office, and he got voted into office to do this exact thing with ICE. So when you go out and you put your cars and your vehicles in front of these operations, you are quite literally going against the voice of the American people. And I don't agree with that. I think even if you lose the vote, something's happening that you don't want to happen. If that's what the majority of the people voted for, you lost. Wait around to the next vote and put your vote in. And voice your opinion. Maybe there will be people that agree with you, and you can get your motion, get a little bit of motion, get a little bit of movement, do something like that. But you're not about to just come in and think you're going to stop our operations from occurring.
Law enforcement to step out of the car. She refused that. And then the third thing, which Jacob Fry isn't acknowledging, is she used her car speeding towards the agent, striking him, as we now see on the tape, and yet he won't do that. And the real tragedy here, Rachel, is that this dishonest mayor, Jacob Frey, is literally been saying that ICE is here to kill you. What's that done? It's caused Minnesota's public schools to have this narrative, to believe this narrative, that maybe ICE agents are going to come in this school and kill you and do something horrible, so much so that now they're going to, you guessed it, remote learning. The AP got this email from Minneapolis schools saying that Minneapolis schools are offering remote.
I mean, this has been going on since COVID, remote learning. Dude, if they're really saying this has something to do with federal immigration enforcement, this is just so stupid. I mean, look, this has zero correlation to federal immigration enforcement. Like, what are we talking about?
Learning as tensions rise over federal immigration enforcement.
I mean, you do have a bunch of mad liberals hitting the streets, and that's making things quite awkward again, like BLM, and I don't think we should be doing that, and I think it's bad for society, and I don't think that they're protesting. I think that they're just being a public nuisance, and I don't think they actually have any reason to be hitting the streets, because although that woman did get shot, she did play a stupid game, and if you play a stupid game, you're going to win a stupid prize, and that's exactly what she got.
That's right. They're using this as an excuse to basically go remote and put their social justice ahead of the education of our children. Of course, this isn't the first time we've seen this. We saw this all through COVID. I want to move back just a little bit to talk about this woman who was shot and killed. We're going to learn more about who she is, what she was doing there, why she was being paid, and who was paying her to be a professional protester. This is a woman who lost custody of 2 of her children and then dropped one off at a daycare so she could go and participate in this kind of activity, taunting ICE, interfering with these lawful operations that ICE is doing. And the question is, how did she get so radicalized? It's not just who's paying her. How did she get, what's going on with liberal white women? And by the way, these are the same liberal white women.
Again, it's not just liberal white women, it's just liberals in general. There's radicalized dudes, there's radicalized Latinas, there's radicalized women in general. This is just not white women. That's kind of a bit far-fetched to say. In fact, I think most white women are just, Republican, and I haven't seen this specific problem even in the white liberal woman sphere that much.
And I think who are, moving kids to remote learning in the Minneapolis schools. There's something happening, when they poll them on happiness level, no one scores lower on happiness than liberal white women. Also, no one scores higher for mental health problems than liberal white women.
Right.
And so there's something else happening.
There's so many factors that could go into that. I mean, look, what does it mean to be a liberal? Does it mean to just go and be a person that values freedom and truth and stuff like that? Or does it mean you can get as many tattoos, you can get as many piercings, you can have sex with as many people as you'd like and expect no consequences to your soul? If you are the latter, that's why you're unhappy. And I feel like a lot of liberal white women, they do get fed that narrative, and then they end up going out and pursuing those things, pursuing tattoos, pursuing piercings, pursuing multiple sleeping partners, and then they end up with these markings on their soul that they cannot remove. And they go to sleep every single night and they think about what they've done and they have regrets, and then that causes unhappiness once again.
Culturally, and there's something, as you said, that's being pushed by the mayor and other leaders.
That's why it's
They
so
obviously
important
have a
to
very
follow
strong political
Christ.
objective, as you said. Get off
Christianity
the topic of the Somalis
can definitely
and
free
the
you
billions
from
that
a
are
lot of
wasted
shackles,
that
a lot of
possibly
chains
are being laundered overseas
that
and
the
brought
devil
back
wants to put you
into Democratic coffers. Let's stop talking about that and let's talk about ICE. We don't know why exactly this woman was out there, but I guarantee somebody's paying her to participate in this.
So to clarify,
People
there's a
usually
lot of
don't do
reporting out
things
there.
for
we
free.
don't know the custody of the children thing is debatable. We don't know the actual facts. The facts we do know is that she belonged to this ICE Watch group, which claims to be legal observers. But if you are a legal observer at a protest, and I've covered hundreds of protests, they don't get involved. They don't insert themselves in the middle of it. So setting aside the details about...
All right, let's be real. If you're going to a protest, what are you going for? Like, anyone that's going to a protest, they're going because they want to get amped up. They want change. They want to know that they're doing something. They want to know that this is purposeful, what they're doing. They're not going to a protest to walk the street, hold a sign up. No, bro. They want to hit the fucking news. They want everyone to be talking about it. They want to make some change. So you can expect people to go to these type of events with their fuse already lit, and it's just a matter of time. They're not going there waiting for their fuse to be lit. They're going there, their fuse is already lit. They're leaving the house, and as they're leaving the house, they're lighting their fuse, and they're waiting for their moment. They're waiting for their shot to just explode, make the news, and, you know, get their voice heard.
Her that we know and don't know. We do know she belonged to this group, and she was acting on what they wanted to do, which was ultimately to get in the way of ICE, who, by the way, has a right, a legitimate right, and obligation to be in Minneapolis.
They do.
Because it's 100%. A sanctuary city that does not turn over violent, criminal, illegal aliens, which started to be let in mass by the millions when President Biden took over.
Can I just say this? Legal observers, notice again.
The Democrats are absolutely terrible in immigration policy. They just let the borders be open. If you ever go to Nick Shirley, watch one of his videos, you'll literally see the border is completely wide open. People are just crossing over during the Biden administration, and it was, quite frankly, an agenda that they had on their ballot. When the Democrats run, you can expect immigration to be at an all-time high.
When they like legal observers, not during elections, but we'll pay you to be a legal
if they
observer
get elected,
and actually
rather.
agitate or interfere in this ICE thing. But we don't like enough.
Mayor Fry, who it seems to be disappointed that the officer, that the ICE agent wasn't injured more. Maybe if had the ICE agent been severely injured, he would have been
and he'd been injured before and had stitches for this.
See, that's the one thing. Like, I'm a Republican, so I don't like seeing violence at all. When I saw this woman get shot in her car by that ICE agent, I stood up for her, even though she's a liberal. For some reason, with these liberals, they're seeking blood. They're seeking blood. They want to see Republicans get harmed. It's like they have hatred in their heart. It's like they have Satan in their heart. They need to literally find a higher power and latch onto it. A lot of these liberals are atheists, and they believe whatever they believe is correct. It's sick. It's literally sick.
Kind of behavior, so obviously he's going to be
it's
a
mentally
little bit,
ill.
Wary about it. Meanwhile, in Cal,
they believe they are gods.
His right to
it's
defend
sick.
himself.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart.